Live is starting. Maybe already started. Okay. All right. Facebook takes a minute to go live, so I always wait to make sure it's live. But sometimes it started when it said it was. Anyway, I say that every time. But it always makes me feel weird the first few minutes. Maybe I should just say something while I wait. Anyway, I wanted to, first of all, we need to celebrate. And David is home, so it's very likely that at some point he's going to come over here and shake his belly or something. So I just wanted to clarify with that. And my hair is driving me nuts because suddenly it's in my face. Okay. One, we're celebrating because I know I'm not like the best math person in the world. And I've even like struggled to keep like spreadsheets of all of the things, all of the monies, because I'm not like a major math person or like a numbers person. And now that I have a COO who can help me with all of this, she's going to help me document and keep track of all the numbers and all the things. But I know based on all of the things that I have awareness of without having documented it completely and fully that we have definitely hit over 500,000 in business since starting in January 2022 on I used my initial platform. I left that platform at having made 42,000. That doesn't even include sales that I made directly on PayPal. Um, the other source of income is YouTube, and I'm at 35,000 a year on YouTube. And then the other source is referrals, um, a kickback that I get with one of the state providers. That's one form of income. I don't know what the annually is, but it's been roughly around like 1,100 a month for a while now. And then the other biggest place is on my um, website, and it is at 489 lifetime. So if you were to add all those numbers together, I know it's over 500,000. So that's how I know. But I haven't logged it very well, like I said, but we're working on that. So that's a huge celebration. That's fantastic. That's exciting. Getting to that point, having like just deciding to leave my corporate job and deciding that I was going to do this on my own and deciding that I could make as much money as I wanted and deciding that I just get to do it. And seeing that we hit over 500,000 in business in basically 2 years. A little bit less, like what is 2 years? 24. So what, like 20? No, 22. 22 months for sure. May have hit it sooner. I don't know. I don't run numbers. So that's fantastic. And what I want to talk about now is manifesting my 6-figure month. So the other day I also celebrated my first $3,000 day, which was awesome. 24 weeks ago is when I said $3,000 a day every day, $3,000 a day every day. So that's been my motto in terms of like my goals that I have hit. So like one of the first times that I really started purposely vocalizing and manifesting what I wanted, it was $1,000 days every day, $1,000 days every day, $1,000 days every day. And at that time I was normally making right around like $200 a day on my sales. And it took a minute to even decide to say $1,000 a day, because what that meant for me was that I was changing 10 people's lives every day. So 10 people who needed to pass their exam, to save their job, to make a bigger income. It just meant that 10 people of the audience I had was going to be changed by making a purchase to my packages. And believing that 10 people would need my help every day took a couple of months to actually sink in. So it took me a while before I even began saying it out loud. But speaking things out loud is one of the best ways to manifest what you want, because you're now putting words behind it, and our words are so incredibly magical. Like, we don't understand the power of our words and how what we say can literally create itself in the reality in which we're living in. Like, you get to say, I live a fairy tale life. You get to say, I want a dream partner who can, hold me through my needs and and my emotions and be there to support me and love me. Like, you get to say that you can have that before you have it, and then you get it. So I've been very vocal about what it is that I'm going after, that I want to achieve. It was from the very beginning I started my business. I said I wanted to make millions from what I'm doing, and I so firmly believed it. I've already signed checks at the belief that I'm going to make 1 million, and I don't mean like actual money checks, but Like I told my sister I'm investing in her business, getting a school, ward off school up and running. I was like, when I make $1 million, I'm going to start, investing in all these things. And it was I'm so confident that we're there, and we're already halfway there after just 2 years. Knowing isn't it like 60-90% of businesses fail after 2 years? And my business is blowing up. In the first year is what we made 126. So that means in this year we made 400 something, and that is, what is it, 4 times as much. My second year in business, we made 4 times as much as we made the first year. I think that's how that maths. Like, that's amazing. And so I knew from the very beginning that this was going to be big and huge. So it's weird because, like, I know it to be true. I know it's already going to happen because I spoke it into existence. And then at the same time celebrating it and being excited for it, because it's like, well, duh, yeah. But then also you're so freaking excited that these things are happening. And it's like this duality of this energy of, you have like, I am wanting all of these things. I'm going after all of these things. I'm visualizing all of these things. I'm manifesting all of these things. And then they're happening. And sometimes what's so crazy is, at this point, what I am bringing into my life is happening so fast that, like, I'll ask for something, or I'll not ask. And what I mean by ask is, I decide that I get to have that in my life. Like, I get to cash renovate my entire house. Like, I get to, just buy what I want without worrying about it. I get to have a baby in another state and pay rent on 3 different houses while I'm doing it because this is what I want in my life. And I ask for things that will come in, and then I'm so focused on the next thing that sometimes I miss the things I've already brought into my life that I spoke into existence. So and just to stand back in awe and look at, like, what I've built in my life in the last 2 years, what I've decided I get to do, what I've decided I get to have, and I went after it, and I trusted and believed every step that no matter what I would do in my business, no matter what person I would date, no matter what decision I made, it was all going to lead to what it is that I wanted to have my life be. And this is, like, so magical that I'm sitting here right now living the life that I live, with the partner that I'm with the beautiful baby that I have. I just, for the first time in my whole life, like, I think maybe one time when I got married when I was like 20, 19, I don't know. Again, numbers are not my thing. I got engaged right away, right after high school, and we got married. I think I had an attempt at a Thanksgiving. I don't really ever remember making a turkey. But I know that I had some sort of party with my family there. But, like, in my conscious adult life, of things that I, like, really remember and what matters to me now, there's not a time that I can look back and say I threw a party for my family. Like, I hosted my entire family at my party. It was my dinner. It was my kitchen. It was my food. I've never been able to do that. And it's one of the things I love doing. I love having my family here. And, like, when we had dinner, like, I didn't even, like, sit down initially because I was, like, taking care of things, making sure that everybody had what they wanted to eat, that there was, everything was laid out. I was cutting my grandma's steak for her, prime rib, whatever. Which, oh my God, the cost of prime rib? Like, I just bought 2 of them. Like, okay, yeah, prime rib. We need prime rib. Like, no big deal that the meat alone is like $405. Although that's about what it's like with him hunting. So, fresh organic. How much do we spend every deer you get, honey?
What do you mean?
How much money does it cost to get every deer that we get?
It costs us really hardly anything, just time.
Yeah, just time. Like, we're getting. Well, you have a deer tag, right?
Well,
My point is.
when you look at the cost of.
Come here. If you're gonna talk, you have to come here.
Oh my goodness.
You love it. Come here, my grumpy old vet. Can we see your sweater? Grumpy old vet. I had no idea I would have this amazing person in my life. And I spoke him into existence, and here he is.
Well, when you consider the price of deer.
Dear, yes.
Do you really have to do that?
Yes, dear.
It's
I
like
love you.
$15 a pound.
$15 a pound for deer meat.
Yeah, we get an average An average of 30 pounds each deer.
30,
That's just an average of.
30 pounds each deer. I get fresh, organic, healthy meat to eat. And David doesn't have to do anything other than go and hunt for our meat for our family. How much that's epic amounts of value of what you're providing to the family.
Mm-hmm.
Not only the fact of saving money because we're not spending $15 a pound.
No, we're.
But that's what it's value.
When you consider, well,
what if we would have to pay for that?
No.
That's crazy.
I've gotten 10 so far, so that's 300 pounds.
300 pounds of fresh, organic, healthy meat. Like, that's what I get to have in my life. And you get to go get it for me. Or talk about the power of like manifesting, creating your own life, writing what it is you want.
Well, I got you the meats.
He cost me the meats. So anyway, hosting my family
It's not Arby's.
for a party. I know I derailed significantly there for a minute. I've never hosted my family for a party, and I had my whole family over, and I got to have it in a beautifully remodeled home. Like everything looks stunning in my household. I had fresh, just bought Corel plates, which were beautiful. Like all these things that matter to me, being able to have my family all in one place in a space big enough for all of us. And I was able to have that, and I wrote that. Like that's what I want. I want to be able to have my whole. I remember that was one of the first things I said to David when we met each other and we were getting together. Is he's like, okay, like so tell me what your plans are, what's your vision? And I said, I want a place for my whole family. I want us all to be able to come together and to hang out and have a place. And normally we leave, we all want it. And then we leave kind of feeling exhausted and tired and frustrated with our family. And um, my sister had even commented how it was not that way. It was the opposite of that way, and that she was actually looking forward to coming back. Like this is the life I get to have, and these were the things that I said I was going after, and full faith in that what I speak about I will bring about. What I speak about I will bring about. What I speak about I will bring about. And it's a belief that I just instill within my mind, and then that everything that happens is going to happen in my favor. Everything that happens is going to happen in my favor. Everything that happens is going to happen in my favor. Like that's the thought process I have.
What?
Oh, that was my baby.
What? You're not alone. You're not alone.
Like what a life. What a life. And I spoke it into existence. So I've been very into like vocalizing everything. And so what I vocalized was $3,000 days 24 weeks ago. And I initially took a while at saying $1,000 days. It took me a couple of months to believe that I could help out 10 people a day through my packages. Now we're helping out like hundreds of thousands of people through the packages, all added up. But I said $1,000 day every day. I posted about it on Facebook constantly, and then we hit it. But it was like hitting it very kind of randomly. Like it took a while to hit it, and then to see the next one. So in some people, they would say that's too slow. Like I would have given up. Like if I said $1,000 day today on Facebook and it didn't happen for a month, I would be so embarrassed. And there's no way that I could have like I don't want to speak about what I want because what if I don't get it fast enough? Like that's basically what if I don't get it fast enough? So because why don't we want to talk about it is because we'd be embarrassed if it didn't happen. Like we're worried about other people. Like what will other people think when my dreams don't come at their timeline? Like why do we need someone else's timeline to dictate when our things come through? Like whatever it takes, that's what it takes, you know? And so when I say I'm manifesting $1,000 days every day, it's going to take the time that it takes, and being embarrassed or worried about what other people think when it doesn't happen at a certain time, just let that go. Because I hit it rather quickly, especially because I feel like I wasn't worried about the timeline on what other people thought about it. In fact, I was like, I want people to see this happen in action. I want people to see this live. Like I believe what I believe so much that I can verbalize out loud that I'm going to make millions, that I'm going to overtake companies, that I'm going to change the entire industry. Like I am rocking the world. I'm going to be known as like the world's teacher for all the things that I talk about and all the things I speak about. I'm willing to verbalize that. I'm willing to say that out loud. I'm not scared of writing my own life to the greatest limits that I currently think I could achieve. But as I change and grow, I might want new things. And it's okay if I like change my mind. Like that's part of the beauty is just go after what you feel would be your best life in its current reality. And it will morph and change to things that are even better. Like I knew I wanted to live where it's green. I was tired of living in the desert. I lived in Arizona for like 15, no, my whole childhood. And I was done. And it's a beautiful place, but I didn't want to live it anymore. And then I was living in Las Vegas. And I was like, I want to live where it's green. And I didn't have any opportunity of that happening in my current like relationship and my place in life. And then it just boom popped out of nowhere, being able to move here and being in the green where I wanted to be. And it also came with like an epic amazing partner, and it also came with a beautiful baby, and it also came with a house that is so beautiful. Like I'm staring at the cedar on the walls of this beautiful room. In my house I have a virtual whiteboard behind me. I have a massive YouTube channel where we have an audience of followers or people whose lives are being impacted, minute by minute. When you see how many people are commenting, how much help they're getting, how they're able to keep their jobs, how they're changing their entire career, how they're changing their financial future for everybody. Like these are the comments and the things that I get to see every day from people in my own audience for the things that I have helped them with or provided them with. Like this is the life that I get to live. Like it's fantastic. And I've written these things of what I wanted, and it's manifested in such beautiful ways and different ways from what I initially thought. Like I initially, thought, my life would look different, but it was based on what I thought I could even experience. And when I realized that I could experience even more greater, awesome things than what I had previously known, then your manifestations get to change a little bit, and it gets to just unfold beautifully when we allow it to. So I've been speaking for a while, like $3,000 days, $3,000, well, $1,000 days, and then $2,000 days, and then $3,000 days. When I got to $3,000 days, I made a different decision though. A big leap is like going. I can make six figures in a year. I've learned that. I've made six figures 5 times now since I left corporate. Right? I've made six figures. My business. When I say I made, my business has made $500,000 in less than 2 years. Like I made 5 figures 5 times, half a million times. I didn't know that I could do that, or like what that would mean for me, but I just spoke. I want, 6 figure months every month. If I could do it, what is that, 4 times? Okay, I'm almost there when you think about it. 12 months divide. Okay, so four, not halfway there. It'd have to be six, right? I'm two more 6 figures away from the math on that. I kind of lost myself there, but yeah, 6 figure month. So I would need 12, and I have five. That's the shortest, easiest way of saying that. So I made the jump from 3,000 to 6 figure, $3,000 a day. Thinking about it in a daily amount, thinking about just 3,000. It's a lot easier to get to 3,000 than 100,000. So one of the things you'll learn on this manifesting journey is when you can't hold the feeling of that kind of money, then you can't bring that kind of money to you. And so many of us get on the positive side of that in a negative way. Like we'll say, $3,000. Oh shit! I lost my thought. Sorry, can I say that? $3,000 is easier to get to than six figures. I've seen $3,000 before. I've held $3,000 in my hand. So when I say $3,000, it's not nearly as scary. And that's the thing is holding. That's what it's talking about. Holding the feeling is it can be scary to say I make $3,000 a day. Because what did $3,000 a day mean for you in the past? It usually meant there was some type of an emergency, where you had to, you know, fast cash withdrawal a bunch of money to move into some apartment that you hope would work out, and like huge ass deposit and then first month's rent. Like that's when I've held $3,000, when I'm making huge changes and big things are happening, and not necessarily what feels in a good way. Like sometimes you leave a relationship and you have to break a lease, and then it's like, how do I got to come up with $3,000 to be able to do this? That's a big huge chunk amount of money. And we say you got to be happy, you got to be positive, but do you understand the fear around $3,000? There's a lot of fear around $3,000, and we're so afraid to hold the feelings of those things. Like I had to go through that feeling to be able to hold the fear of it. Like in order to overcome a fear, you have to face that fear and feel that fear and live through that fear. I had to live through the fear of, do I have enough money, to be able to, and I have to pay 3,000 right now. Like it's all the money I have in the world. It took me a while to save this up, and I'm giving you all the money I have in the world to move into an apartment, and then hopefully next week I have $200 to pay for my groceries and make sure my deposits on my light bill is done. Like I've lived there. That was my life. And so saying that I could make that amount of money in one day triggered lots of fear, lots of fear. And when we're unwilling to hold that fear, we can't manifest it. We can't bring it to us, because we have to feel the fear. We have to feel it. We have to own that part of what that means. So we think $3,000 a day just is happy. Everyone would be so happy to have 3,000. Yes, but don't forget there's a lot of fear at that frequency as well, of having 3,000. So, and then another example is taxes. They dangle out, you're going to have to owe taxes. And can you imagine if I'm already dealing with the consequences of not keeping track of everything when I started this business. Luckily, I only made 120 that year, so that I'm not owing so much money out of taxes, and I had to learn how to get prepared for that. I had to hold the feeling of that. I had to hold the frequency of that. I didn't get to, this amount of money without struggling, is my point. And I don't mean struggle as in like bad things. I mean as in like good things. And what I mean by this, the struggle I go through is what gives me the success. And we are unwilling to face struggle. We're unwilling to face struggle. If it feels like a struggle, you're not going to do it. You're not going to go to it. You're going to try to avoid it at all costs. Right? Going into your feelings and understanding why you think the way you think, or allowing that energy in your body to leave, it's going to require a struggle. Things don't just, if you want things to move quickly, if you want things to move fast, it usually hurts worst. And the faster you're willing to deal with whatever hurts, past emotional pain, past programming and beliefs from our family. Like, what's crazy today, I made a joke about David losing weight, because I've been gone and his belly is almost gone. And I said, are you going to be able to keep off that extra weight you got going on? And and then I said, well, you don't expect me to lose any though. And I smacked my big old fat belly, and it jiggled a little bit. And by the way, I'm only in my underwears, and I'm in my spaghetti strap shirt. And I'm telling him he's stuck with this fatty as I'm slapping around my belly. Like, that's, I don't know where I was going with that. But we got to say things. We got to go through. Oh, and then he said, I turned around and I went to go to the bathroom. And he said, I'm going to get that orange ass. And I'm like, what is he talking about? And then he's like, the way your skin looks, it's all like prickled, or however he described it. I'm like, oh, honey, that's cottage cheese. I'm like, that's what we call cottage cheese when your back of the leg looks like, when all your skin is prickly and like whatever. And he goes, oh, it looks like a orange peel to me, juicy and thick. Perception is everything. Perception is everything. He sees my ass as a juicy orange, and I see it as a bowl of cottage cheese. And now I've changed my mind. I've decided that I have an orange. But anyway,
You make me sound like I'm a horrible person.
You're the best person.
You make me sound so horrible. Everybody's
No.
gonna be over there like. Sometimes things stay in private
Honey,
when I say lovely things to you.
I much prefer to think of my butt as an orange as opposed to a bowl of cottage cheese. But you know, I was told as a little girl that that's called cottage cheese. And they made me scared of it for it to be on the back of my legs. And you're like, it looks like an orange.
Every woman has it, and if they have a problem with it, that's society doing it. I'm sorry, I'm not getting to that one.
No, I believe you. I stand with you. I'm
gonna do this while you're live. Come here.
What are you doing? I
Open
don't have a
your
booger.
mouth. Open your mouth.
Is it my pizza?
No, you got
lipstick.
Lipstick all over your teeth.
That's why I have bad lighting, so you can't tell.
Gotta love it.
I love you.
I love you too.
And I'm drinking orange soda. How funny is that?
Yeah.
That's called a synchronicity. When you're talking about things and then you see something happen like multiple times, like seeing a number all the time.
Deja vu.
Yeah, deja vu is another one. Uh-huh. I love you.
I'm gonna have to go to the pool soon. So.
Okay. Oh, yeah. What time is it? Do you need dinner?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Love you.
I love you. Is she hungry?
Seems to be fine. You're live.
She just said dad, yeah.
I know. She's been kind of saying all
Dad. Oh, she loves her dad. The pain of that. I'm not the first word she says, right? Like I have to deal with the pain of knowing that she's going to get it first and I'm going to get it second, but also getting her to know that she has the most amazing, like her saying his name. She gets to grow up with a beautiful, amazing father. Like, it's just so epic. We have to write what we want. We have to say what we want. We have to appreciate what it is we want. And sometimes we get so caught up in where I am now that we forget to appreciate where we've been. I've struggled to pay for all the things I've needed to pay for in my life. I've struggled so much. And that's what makes the success so sweet. But we don't want to struggle through the things that hurt. We don't want to struggle through the things we don't want to look at. We don't want to struggle through the things that we think, like my friend thinks the universe is punishing him for what happened. And it is a sad story. It's an extremely sad story. It's a story where he found, and I'm just sharing this. I speak. He shared it on Facebook, so I'm not sharing anything that nobody knows about. But he had found a computer on the side of the road, an old Mac. It totally worked, and he looked it up on eBay. People were buying it. So he decided to sell it. He packed it up. He shipped it. It ended up being destroyed by the time the buyer got it. Wanted a refund, and so now all the money he believed he made, he now lost, and he's now lost time because he spent time dealing with this situation. And so and he just thinks I did something wrong, like I'm not doing this right. And I'm like, how about you just got to feel it? You just got to deal with it and not think that it's because you're doing something wrong. Like the reason we attach bad feelings and we think we're doing something wrong with the universe is because that's how we were raised. Our parents would make us feel bad when we did something wrong. So we think that if there's and it was usually coming from our parents. Like he literally says, it feels like the universe is a parent. And I did something wrong, and so they're taking my toy away, and this is a punishment. It's a punishment that I now have wasted time, and I thought I was getting money, and then that money was taken back from me. And that can happen for me too. People pay money and then it is taken back, and there's a fear in that. It's so scary to do that, but we think automatically that we've done something wrong, that the universe is punishing us. And so we say we quit our manifestation, we quit going after what it is we think we want, and we stay in a circle instead of just saying, gosh, this sucks. Like I would be heartbroken if I'm like, I just thought I made all this money to help me pay, because it's not just attached to the making the money, it's attached to paying the rent, it's attached to buying the food. If I don't have enough money to pay the rent, to pay the food, then I can't even function. And I get that. And it's like, hold the feeling of that. because there's going to be a moment where you owe people money, and money is like, where's the money that I owe all these people money? If you can't do that with small amounts of money, you can't do it with big amounts of money. And there are going to be times where things happen, and you just have to be prepared for whatever it is that you experience, whatever that feeling might encompass. And there's usually what we perceive as a negative feeling to every situation and a positive, and we only want the positive, and we hate looking at the negative. And so she's hungry. Okay, all right, I love you all. I gotta go take care of my baby. I might come back and talk about this later. I love you. Bye.